Welcome back, everyone. There is a bill that is advancing in the State House recently, and that's what we want to talk about today. It is House File 2128. And joining me now, I have Joe Henry. He is the State Political Director for the Iowa League of United Latin American Citizens. Joe, thanks for being here. And this is Ari Davis. She is a former DACA recipient. You're now a U.S. citizen. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Thank you both for being here this morning. So I want to first explain what House File 2128 does. So it would, if passed into law, require students to provide proof of citizenship or lawful presence in the country to classify for in-state tuition and fees. And that would affect Iowa's 3 Regent universities and some community colleges. So, Joe, I want to start with you and basically just your overall reaction to this legislation being introduced at the State House.
Well, clearly this is racial profiling. This is an attack on our community, on the Latino community, on the undocumented immigrant community. And this is a bill that is going to have an impact upon all Iowans in the end, because to require this type of proof, this is something that has never happened before in our history. So we're very concerned about this. Our LULAC council's here. We have 22 LULAC councils here of 600 plus young people who are part of these councils who are very concerned about this, about their brothers and sisters who will be going to college. And we need to urge our legislators to really say no to this type of hateful legislation. This makes no sense. Education should be a right. It should not be a test for whether or not you are a U.S. citizen.
And just to sort of explain to our viewers the difference between how things are now, which is basically if you graduated from an Iowa high school and you've applied to one of Iowa's Regent universities or a community college, you're considered a resident of the state. And this law would now require you, if passed, to prove your U.S. citizenship in addition. So Ari, I know you are past your school days, and good for you on all of that. You're married, you have your citizenship status now. But what would this bill, if it would have been a law when you were going and seeking out your higher education, what would it have meant for you?
Yeah, so I wouldn't have been able to get a college degree, as simple as that. I went to DMACC my first 2 years with scholarships, and people that are in my situation, like I was back then, we don't qualify for federal financial aid. We don't qualify for loans. So you really rely fully on scholarship and paying out of pocket. And that's what I did. I went my first 2 years to DMACC, got my associates in liberal arts, transferred to Iowa State University, got my degree in criminal justice. And since then I've graduated, I bought a home, I have my family, I'm a citizen now. But I think it's really important to think that there's a huge gap with this legislation that even me, like I had DACA, that's a privileged situation because DACA hasn't been accepting new applications for years. So most of these students coming in are completely undocumented and have no lawful presence in the country, right? And so I think another important thing to talk about is that everybody hears legal and illegal immigration and kind of makes a judgment based on that. And that's such a disservice because the immigration system is so much more complex than that. People don't have the opportunity to become citizens. I have it because I got married and my husband is a U.S. citizen. So many people don't have that.
In talking about the price of tuition and going back to having to have citizenship status and the regents having to prove that you have that status before you can get your in-state tuition, Joe, the tuition fees, and this is from the University of Iowa's website, for in-state students, $10,964 for out-of-state or non-resident students, $32,927. That's obviously a huge difference. What would you say to those who are in favor of this bill, and their argument is, they call it common sense. They say that taxpayer money should not be used to fund the education of those who aren't living in the U.S. legally?
Well, this is crazy. I mean, the immigrant community especially spends over $3 billion a year in Iowa. And immigrants play a key role here in Iowa. To require their children to spend 3 times as much in tuition for out-of-state tuition, even though they live here, is so terrible. This should not happen. This makes no sense. These young people, these families are playing a critical role in our economy. When we look at agriculture, for example, in agriculture, from farming, from meat processing, to serving the food. Those are key sectors that the immigrant community plays a part in. So to then require these families to pay 3 times as much for tuition makes no sense. These people, these families are our future here in Iowa. They play a key role. Education should be a right. These are also our future workers who will be continuing to work in these industries and other industries in Iowa. So to charge them more because of politics, I mean, that's how we see it. This is an election year, this is presidential election year, and this is politics. I mean, pure and simple. So this should not happen. This makes no sense. These people are Iowans, they pay their taxes, they play a part in key sectors of our economy.
Well, thank you both so much for being here this morning, and I'll just put a plug in. Ari, I appreciate you being here. I think one of the easiest ways for a journalist to talk about legislation and the impact of legislation is to have somebody who can share a personal story, somebody who maybe would have been affected by a bill that's similar to this. We'll continue to follow this. I know it's advanced to a judiciary committee. We'll continue to follow legislation wherever it may go. Thank you both for your time today.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
All right, we'll be right back after this.